The Boston Molasses Disaster of 1919. This is the true, factual, and deeply strange story of a catastrophic industrial accident in Boston's North End, but it is also a narrative about America at a cultural crossroads. Prohibition, World War I, the rise of corporate power, and the forgotten lives of immigrants who built the modern American city. The story opens in the vibrant, bustling North End of Boston in the pre-Prohibition era of the late 1910s. This section introduces our cast of central, real-life characters. Pietro D'Estasio, a hard-working Italian immigrant and dock worker whose family lives in the shadow of the massive molasses tank. His dream is simple: own a small shop and see his children get a real American education. His daily life, full of the sounds and smells of the city and the threat of the war, provides a grounded, human perspective. The Purity Distilling Company executives. The narrative details the cold, corporate calculus behind the giant tank. It wasn't just molasses. It was used to make industrial alcohol and rum, a highly profitable, high-demand commodity during World War I and as Prohibition loomed. The executives, particularly one unnamed, arrogant overseer, cut corners on construction, ignored the leaks, which locals joked about, collecting the sweet drips for baking, and prioritized profit over safety. Factual detail: the tank was never properly pressure tested.
The Boston Fire Department and local police, we introduced the chaotic, often funny, and sometimes heartbreaking daily lives of the city's first responders who struggled to keep order in the rapidly modernizing and culturally diverse metropolis. The Wave of Treacle, the Disaster. On January 15, 1919, a sudden and unseasonable rise in temperature causes the fermenting molasses inside the badly constructed tank to expand rapidly. The tank explodes with a sound like a machine gun or a monstrous clap of thunder. A 25-foot-high tsunami of molasses, a dense, sticky, 12,000-ton wave rushes through Commercial Street. The narrative shifts to a terrifying minute-by-minute account of the immediate destruction. Factually amazing, the wave moves so fast it rips a fire station off its foundation and smashes the elevated railway tracks. Horses are drowned and people are instantly killed, either from the force of the initial wave or by being trapped and suffocated in the rapidly cooling, thickening syrup. Funny, absurd juxtaposition. The initial reactions of shock and confusion as people realize they are being buried alive in sugar water. We feature historical anecdotes of survivors climbing out, coated head to toe, looking like gingerbread men. The sticky aftermath, the cleanup, and the courtroom. The bulk of the narrative focuses on the shocking, messy, and lengthy aftermath. The rescue and cleanup, the molasses is everywhere. Firefighters, police, Red Cross workers, and Navy cadets descend on the area. The thick syrup is almost impossible to remove. The cleanup lasts for weeks, requiring salt water from fireboats to wash the stickiness away. The smell of molasses clings to the North End and the entire city of Boston for months, if not years. The legal battle. This section is the dramatic climax for the USA audience. The city and the victim's family sue Purity Distilling. The company, determined to dodge responsibility, attempts to blame the explosion on anarchists or German saboteurs, a common fear in the post-World War I era. The resulting civil suit, one of the first major class action style cases in Massachusetts, is a groundbreaking legal drama. Factual detail. It took 3 years, 3,000 witnesses, and led to a landmark ruling on corporate negligence.
The verdict and legacy. The court eventually rules against Purity Distilling, holding the corporation accountable for poor engineering and negligence. The story concludes with the rebuilding of the North End and the bittersweet legacy of the disaster. The court case led to much stricter industrial building codes and safety regulations across America, a truly lasting and positive impact born from the most absurd of accidents. This structure allows for a richly detailed, character-driven story that weaves factual historical information with moments of dark humor, tragedy, and a very American focus on corporate accountability and immigrant life.